Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company, and today we're going to talk about how to use the Patek Philippe 5520. It was made in rose gold, it was made in platinum, they're both discontinued, but they work the same way. With an alarm and a dual time function, I think this is the most useful Patek Philippe made in the 21st century. It's one of my favorites. It is automatic winding with a 52-hour reserve, a ton of lume, a very usable and versatile shape that can be your dress watch or it can be your sports watch. Patek even claims it is the first chiming watch, a la minute repeater style, that it has ever made that was water resistant. And so we do have a steel striker, a wire gong, and a centrifugal governor. But you have to understand how to operate this watch. And I think a lot of people are scared away from a purchase because even at the roughly 50 to 60% of original retail where these sell, nevertheless, people don't know how to operate them, and that's driving them away. So let's start with some of the basics. We've got 3 lockable crowns. This one is the alarm on-off. It arms and disarms the alarm. And then we have our travel time functions. Oop, I can't operate it. Why is that? It's because these crowns are also lockable. This crown is lockable so you don't accidentally change the arming status of the alarm. And then these two can be locked so you don't accidentally move your local hour hand. And all it takes to lock them is a quarter turn clockwise. And that's true here too. A quarter turn counterclockwise unlocks these crowns. A few things to note. We have local time and we have home time. Let's quickly describe the difference here. Local time is the place where you are right now. Local time is what sets the alarm off, and local time is what drives the date. Home time is your reference time. Home time is the time represented by this little skeletal hand. And since both time zones are in 12-hour format, we need an AM, PM for each, but we can also clean up the dial. Superimposing the hours, we can clean up and remove that extra hour if we don't need it. Now, about minute repeaters, you probably know that you need to pull the slide all the way. On an older repeater, pulling it partway could damage the watch. On a more modern repeater, generally, there's a blocker that won't allow you to activate the strike if you don't charge the strike barrel and its spring with enough energy to finish the strike. Well, Patek has built a similar blocker into this watch. So you need to fully wind the strike barrel that runs the alarm for 35 seconds at max, but you have to fully wind it in order to arm the alarm. So this little guy here can be used to arm or disarm the alarm, but you'll find that nothing happens unless you fully wind the strike barrel. You'll know it's wound. This is the master crown. It sets the alarm time, it winds the clock time, it winds the alarm strike, it sets time for the hands as well as the alarm function. So in its flush position, flush to the case, you turn it in a clockwise direction to wind the alarm. While the rotor can wind the clock time functions, it cannot wind the strike barrel, so you need to do that manually. Fortunately, it's dynamometric, so if you accidentally crash through the stop of the spring, it'll slip, and you'll feel a slipping sensation, almost like a cogging or an indexed rotation. That means it's time to stop, but you can't accidentally overwind it because of the dynamometric properties. Turn it in the other direction, you wind the clock time, it's got a 52-hour reserve. Now you can see here, I have the ability to adjust this alarm in 15-minute increments, and it's digital and it's bidirectional, but it's also in a 24-hour format, but it only has 12-hour scales. So there's a little aperture underneath that lets you know whether this is 8 p.m., that is 8 at night, or 8 a.m. And you can actually see, because that little aperture there is dark, you're looking at 8 p.m. Now you can also see local time described by the solid cathedral hands. That is dark, so that is approaching 8 p.m. as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to advance, and we're going to arm the alarm. Now we're going to disarm the alarm. So you can see when the time described by these two hands, the local hours and minutes, matched the time described 8 p.m. on the alarm system, the chime operated. Now what I want to do is I want to push this crown back in, and I want to rewind the strike barrel until I feel it come to a stop. That means it's completely energized. Now you can see I'm able to arm and disarm that little bell shape aperture. White in the bell means armed, black means disarmed. And again, it's just a quarter turn clockwise to lock that system out. But you can only arm the alarm if the strike barrel is fully wound. Now, there's one more thing I should mention, which is that there is a little adjuster that can be used to jump the date. The date can be jumped by using the travel time functions. You can jump in either direction. You can see it's a pointer date as you cross the international date line. There's no risk for using these to change the date. This is the way to do it, sort of rolling through the date change, whereas this is a traditional jumper. This should not be used between the hours of 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. That's Patek's recommendation. I recommend not using this anytime your local time displays a black aperture. That's just my more conservative and cautious nature advising you to be more careful than necessary. An abundance of caution never hurt anyone. A deficit can be expensive. Now, in terms of water resistance, yes, Patek describes this as a true 30 meters, which I don't like because push-down crown, 30-meter watch, I don't know, but Patek on its website does now describe this watch's water resistance as a true swimmable 30 meters. There's one last note, which is that it's easy to get out of sync, where I might, for example, set this and this separately. And let me demonstrate how that could happen. So let's say now we want to go back, and we were looking at 8 p.m., but I can adjust this to another time scale that also describes 8 o'clock. Only now you could see white in that little aperture. So if I were to advance, now that I've set this to 8 a.m., and this is still clearly 8 p.m., I can advance to 8, and a lot of people will do this. They've fully wound their strike barrel, they've armed their alarm, and they're wondering why it's not sounding. Arm, disarm, arm, disarm. Why can't I hear my alarm? It's because this 8 and that 8 are different. Always look at this little aperture to let you know whether you're looking at AM, PM, and always look at your local time to know whether it corresponds to the alarm. They should always be in sync. If you want to use the alarm for functional purposes, you need to really keep track of both of those AM, PM indications. It's a great watch. It is one of my favorites, and provided you have the patience to learn it, which took all of 7 minutes, this could be a constant companion and your only watch. Again, reach out to me, Team Mosso at the 1916company.com if you have functional questions here, but it should be pretty straightforward.